And if anyone thinks that Jay Clayton and the Securities and Exchange Commission in the United States poured a lot of cold water and slowed this market down with their pronouncements, as Jay Clayton, who runs the U.S. SEC, said in February, he has not yet seen an ICO that is not a security under U.S. law. Yeah. By the way, I agree with him. I think anybody who says otherwise is probably hoping, or they have a conflict of interest and they're trying to raise money off of the public. I respect that. They want to be in an unregulated space. So what are these initial coin offerings? They have attributes of both investment and consumption. You will hear a term called utility token. But again, I would say do not mistake yourselves. A utility token can also be an investment scheme. It's not one or the other. And I think proponents of not regulating this space are trying to set up a false debate. Again, I think they're trying to set up a false debate. If it's a utility token or a consumption token, then don't worry, public sector, you don't have to regulate. I think that's a mistake because the public benefits from investor protection. And what's the basis of investor protection? It says there's full and fair disclosure. That yes, the investing public can take risk, but they actually should know something about that which they're buying. Secondly, anti-fraud protection. You can have anti-fraud in consumer laws, but every country around this table has a higher standard of anti-fraud in investor protection than just simple consumer protection. This is not just going into a laundromat to get a token to do your laundry. It's more than that when somebody's raising $50 million or a couple of $1 billion, as Telegram just recently raised. Why? These are fungible and transferable tokens, similar to securities. They're generally issued before there's a functioning network. What I mean by that is there's no laundromat, but will you please buy my tokens? Or there's no theater. We haven't written the script. We haven't hired the actors or actresses, but please buy the tickets to the show. Thus, the purchaser is taking inherent investment risk. The promoters usually give themselves some allocation to begin with. Sometimes it's only a small, modest percent. Sometimes it's up to 80% of the tokens. Ripple is a company that has the third largest market capitalization. When they first started, they kept 80% of the tokens for their own company. That's not wrong or right. It's just a fact, but it's something that gives you an attribute that it's more like a security. They create scarcity through a preset monetary policy, not quite like central banks, but a monetary policy in the issuance of these tokens. And the development, while open source, is largely centralized. You'll hear debates about centralization versus decentralization. And I would tell you, even Bitcoin is more centralized than a lot of its proponents would like to suggest, but these ICOs are really quite centralized.